So, if you guys don't, like, locate my son, what's gonna happen?
That's what we're working on at the moment.
Why do you think they won't be able to locate him? I mean, if you got the address to where he'd be.
Because, like, I don't know, I'm just saying, if you guys are not able to find him, like, what can happen?
Welcome or welcome back, and thanks for being here. I'm Cassie, and this is A Wicked World. The story I have for you today is about a 4-year-old little boy who suddenly disappeared along with his mother one day in March of 2024. And his mother, whom he had last been seen with, had been showing some very concerning signs. This is the story of Ariel Garcia. Ariel Yazue Garcia was born on January 4th, 2020, to his mother, Jeanette Garcia, in Linwood, California. His family said that he was the most loving little man. Ariel enjoyed jumping, dancing, running, watching Blippi, and riding his bike. He also loved playing with his pretend police cars and wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. Ariel additionally had a brother who was 4 years older, and he loved to play with him. At some point not long after he was born, Ariel and his family moved from California to Washington. Here, they lived with Jeanette's mother, Maria. Then, on March 27, 2024, Jeanette's relatives would contact police, stating that she and Ariel were missing from the apartment where they had recently been staying. For the last few days, the mother and son had been living in an apartment that was owned by Jeanette's ex-boyfriend's mother, in the 4800 block of Vesper Drive in Everett, Washington. They'd last been seen around 7 o'clock that morning, but when Jeanette's relatives later went over there, they were gone. And left behind in the living room was a large blood stain on the carpet and a child-sized bloody handprint. They immediately became seriously concerned. When authorities went out to the scene, they would cut up the carpeting, and they found that the blood had leaked through to the carpet padding and the subfloor below. This led them to believe that a very serious injury had occurred. So right away, police began searching for the mother and son, and a 24-hour manhunt ensued. During this time, authorities would discover that Ariel's older brother was safe. He had been left behind with his grandparents. But making police even more concerned about Ariel's safety was come to find out Jeanette's mother, Maria, had contacted Child Services a few days earlier, on March 23rd. During this phone call, Maria expressed her concerns that her daughter was using drugs, acting crazy, and violent. The grandmother also told the agent that Jeanette had yanked Ariel's 7-year-old brother off his bed by his feet, then taken him to a bar with no shoes on. But it was determined that Maria's concerns did not meet the requirements to have a family assessment report opened at that time. However, the very day after she made this report on March 24th, a caseworker would open a family assessment response. This required that someone from the department go out and meet with the family and children within 72 hours. Apparently, this had come as a result of Jeanette bringing Ariel and his 7-year-old brother to the hospital, where the older brother had told a doctor that his mother had dragged him down the stairs by his neck. A nurse additionally reported that she had concerns about Jeanette's behavior while she was there. In the meantime, Ariel's grandmother was somehow able to obtain physical custody of his brother, but not him. She was still very worried about her other grandson, though, so on March 25th, she filed for emergency custody of Ariel. She told court officials that her daughter Jeanette's behavior was very unpredictable and violent. She also had a long history of alcohol and substance use, which had only gotten worse over the last few months. Her drug of choice was methamphetamine. Ariel's grandmother, Maria, additionally wrote in her request for custody, "I love my grandson, and I want to protect him from whatever his mother is capable of while she's on drugs." Maria had also filed a restraining order against her daughter, Jeanette, which said that she was not allowed within 100 feet of Ariel or his brother. So this emergency guardianship order had been granted to Maria on March 26th. And at that point, she had 48 hours to serve it to her daughter, Jeanette. So the following day, on March 27th, Maria and a few family members went over to where Jeanette and Ariel had been staying, which was when the blood was discovered and the 911 call placed.
What's the address of the emergency?
It was Belfer, close to the 44th and Everett. It is an apartment complex. There's a missing child with his mother. His mother is most likely on drugs and not supposed to be with her. In the apartment, there's a big blood stain, and then the mom is missing with her child, and we were afraid that she did something to him, and she disappeared.
Okay, so you said there was a mom there with a child?
She is missing with her child. She was there. She was not supposed to be with her child. She had a stay-away order because she is on drugs and she is a danger to her child. It was issued by the court yesterday. We were trying to serve her the papers, but we found nothing and just a blood stain.
Did you call the police yesterday?
We don't know how to get police involved to go after them because we were about to serve her the papers for a guardianship, but we didn't find them.
Ma'am, when was the last time you saw the mother and child?
Me personally, I don't know. My mother-in-law saw them, I think, Monday last, but she knew where she was. She just disappeared today. She was staying with some people, and apparently they just said that she said, the mom, that the kid is at the hospital, but we don't know. Because she supposedly is in rehab in Vancouver all of a sudden.
A court date had also been scheduled for March 29th to go over the conditions of the guardianship and the restraining order, something Jeanette likely knew about. Following their gruesome discovery, Jeanette's family had tried to reach out to her to see where she and Ariel had gone. When they did, Jeanette would tell one family member that she had actually given her son up for adoption. She would then tell her ex-boyfriend's mother, the one whom she was renting the apartment from, that Ariel had fallen off the bed, so she had taken him to the hospital. Now, police had also attempted to contact Jeanette and find her son Ariel. Surprisingly, when they did contact her, Jeanette answered the phone. She told them that the reason for the blood in her friend's apartment was because Ariel had gotten injured after he had fallen off his bed. Then she claimed that she had dropped him off in Portland, before changing that to Seattle and hanging up the phone. Just a little while after this phone call had taken place, Clark County Sheriff's deputies were informed that Ariel's mother, Jeanette, had been found. She was currently at a rehab program in Ridgefield, so officers went there to speak with the mother. Upon their arrival at the center shortly before 7 p.m., one officer would note that there was blood on Jeanette's sweatshirt and shoes. Her response was that her son had fallen that morning and hit his head, but he was fine.
You
got some blood drops on your shoes.
Yeah. So my son fell this morning earlier.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I was able to take him to the doctors and everything was okay. I took him with another lady so she can watch him for me because I wasn't staying at home. I had problems going on with my parents and they didn't let me in the house. So I was staying with another lady. She was super sweet. That's where my son fell. And then, but we left, so I was like, okay, so I went to another lady's house and I told her if she could watch him for me. I wanted to come get, I wanted to fully recover. I'm an alcoholic, so I was like, if you can watch him for me for 12 months, that'd be amazing because I'm not talking to my mom. And she's the one that has just like a notarized paper saying that she has legal custody of them, but I have legal custody of them. She's not letting me see my older son, so
that would be really hard.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset about that one. So I'm here now and everything's okay.
Jeanette then went on to tell police that she had left Ariel with some person, but couldn't provide a name, address, or phone number for them. She would later go on to say that this person was actually a friend who was named Alika Bone. According to Jeanette, she had been friends with Alika for some time, but had recently found her phone number on her old Facebook account. But then after contacting the friend and dropping her son off with her, she had deleted the number. Jeanette would also at one point during the interview change the spelling of this friend's last name.
We want to make sure that he's safe and know where he is. Who's the friend that you left it with?
I left him with another lady. I don't have her information.
Oh, well, that's not going to cut it. We got to figure out where he's at. Where can you, tell me the location where somebody could go and check on him and make sure he's okay?
In SeaTac area.
Okay.
Seattle.
More specific?
I don't have an address.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Who's the friend? How do you know the person how did you pick the person?
She's a longtime friend that I know.
Okay, what's her name?
Alika. That's all I know. Alika Bone.
Alika Bone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you've known
her or anything?
Okay. But you've known her for a long time? So how did you reach out to her?
So I reached out to her because I needed help.
How did you reach out to her?
I found her number on my old Facebook, but I no longer have a Facebook anymore. So.
Okay.
So something you sign back into and
No.
no, you just deleted it all.
I delete it all the time. So
Yeah. You found it today on your old Facebook? And her name is
Alika Bone.
Alika Bone, like B-O-N-E? Okay. And she lives in the SeaTac area. You understand we just need to make sure that he's okay, and then
Yeah.
we can just do that, and then we can leave you be, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
As officers continued to interrogate her, not believing her insane version of events, she would double back on her story. But she proved to be unable to describe the hospital waiting room where she said that her and Ariel had gone. She was unable to give an arrival or departure time from the hospital. And then she finally admitted that while she had taken him there, they had never seen a doctor because the wait was too long. From there, she had brought Ariel to Alika's house, whom she now also mysteriously had found an address for.
You're not...
Lying.
You have a longtime friend that you reach out to leave your son with,
son.
who you obviously care about
Of
very
course,
much.
I love him with all my heart.
Yes, and you're expressing how upset you are about what's going on between you and your mom and the custody of him and your older son. I think that's horrible. So I know that you're not going to go leave your son with somebody and you don't know where he is.
Yeah. No.
So you do know where he is.
No, I know where he is. I know where he's at.
Tell me where he's at.
I don't have the address for him.
Okay, how can we find the address for him?
I don't know.
Did you put it in your phone
No.
to get there? Okay, Alika, you know where your son is because you're a mom who loves her son very much, and you didn't
I'm
just...
not Alika. I'm Jeanette.
I'm sorry, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Alika, you took him somewhere, and you're going to go back to him, and you know where he is. So tell me where he's at so we can make sure that he's okay or what's going on.
So he's not. I mean, he's there. He's with
Okay,
her, but
tell
he's
me
not
how
with
to
me.
go check on him.
I can give you an address.
Okay, what's the address?
I don't know. You have to write it down.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
When he fell, where'd he get hurt?
Just he on his head, but he fell on the ground and he hurt himself.
Heads are the worst.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find. I don't even.
How old's your son?
He is 5. So I don't know if this is the right one. And Seattle, Washington. So 57
57.
01
Yep.
232nd Avenue, Seattle, Washington.
Where did you get that address from just now?
From the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you remember leaving him.
So yeah, Alika. That's her
Okay.
name.
5701, yeah?
5701.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
And-
Alika? How do you spell that?
Alica.
Okay.
Last name is Bonn.
Bonn?
Yeah.
Bonn?
So and if you guys can't find him or whatever, this is where I'm gonna be for the next 12 months. But I mean,
They
he's
check you
there.
in. They check you in.
How did you guys discuss that you're obviously gonna communicate with him still, you wanna check on him
Right.
and all that. How are you guys gonna communicate?
Well, I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna use my phone because
Okay.
I'm gonna be here for the next 12 months.
Okay.
So if anything, I don't know what else.
Okay.
That's it.
You didn't discuss that with Alika before you left?
Yes, I discussed with her. I'm gonna be here for 12 months, and then, but before that, like I don't speak to my parents or anything like that because we got into an altercation. So, but this is where I'm gonna be. He jumped from the bed that we were sleeping on to the ground, and then he just got blood on his head, and so I had him taken to the doctor, and so he's doing good.
Okay. Okay. What did he hit it on?
Just on the ground.
Okay. How did it start bleeding?
It's just started bleeding.
Can you show me like what side of his head? Do you remember what side of his head it was?
I don't remember exactly what side of the head it was, but it's starting to rain a little bit.
Yeah. That's okay. So you don't. What time did it occur today?
Just like early, like at 10, 11.
10 or 11. Okay. Do you know what time it is now?
It's already 6:30, or about to be 7.
So how long were you guys at the hospital?
We were only there for a little bit. I don't even think he got checked. We got there, and but I didn't wait enough for him to get checked out. So
So he didn't actually go back and get checked. Gotcha. Did you actually go inside and check him in? Okay. And then did you tell him you were leaving, or did you did? Okay, you just said he's not going to be seen and left?
Yeah.
Okay, and how is he acting?
He's okay.
Yeah.
What happened to him when he fell?
Nothing. He just cried.
Just cried?
Do you remember when you walked in? Like, can you describe to me when you walked in what it looked like?
Just the hospital. Just the hospital.
Okay. But can you describe, like, when you walk in the door, where was the check-in?
In the front, like I walked in, as soon as I walked in, the front desk was checked in right there. And I said my son had to be seen for something. And then his name and everything.
Okay.
And that's
You're
it.
going like this, so you wrote it down, or was there like a check-in thing? Or
There was a check, all right, but I think they checked me in. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't write anything on there? Okay. Have you been there before?
No.
No, that was your first time.
That was my first time.
When you checked into the desk, was it just an open desk, or
Just an open
was
desk.
it behind a wall? Did they have like a glass wall, or?
Just an open desk.
Okay. Was there a lot of people in there? Yeah. That's why you didn't want to wait, because it was too long. Do you think he needed stitches or anything?
No, he's fine.
Okay. You didn't remember where his injury was? Is it front, side, back? Do you remember?
It's the side. It was the side.
Definitely one of the sides that you recall?
The front, yeah.
Okay. Front. You're kind of pointing above the eyebrow? Okay. Make sure she doesn't get... I might just take her phone. She's got some specks on her shirt. She's got blood on her shoes. She's not really making sense.
If you guys don't, locate my son, what's going to happen?
That's what we're working on at the
Yeah.
moment.
Why do you think they won't be able to locate him? I mean, if you got the address to where he'd be.
Because, I don't know. I'm just saying, if you guys are not able to find him, what can happen?
What it's looking like right now is that we're going to need to stay with you until we find him. Because it sounds like you said you know where he is, you know where you left him.
Right.
So it shouldn't be an issue, right? Should be able to locate him. Okay, so that's what we just need to stay with you until we locate him.
Okay.
And you'll also notice that at points, Jeanette cannot seem to get her son's age straight. She'll once say that he's 4, and then another time say that he's 5. So according to Jeanette, she had driven her Nissan from the hospital in Everett, where she had brought Ariel, to her friend Alika's house in Seattle. She had then left the car at the friend's house and taken a bus to the rehab center in Ridgefield, over 2.5 hours away. However, police would find video surveillance footage that showed that Jeanette had ironically left her car in the parking lot of a bar. It was just down the road from the rehab center, within walking distance. Jeanette was seen leaving her vehicle there less than 3 hours before police went to speak with her, around 3:30 p.m. Now, according to the staff at the rehab center, it was not Jeanette's first time there. Her mother had dropped her off a number of times in the past, and she had been very problematic each and every time she'd been there, getting in fights with others and not listening to her sponsor. They believed that she had some serious mental health problems. Police would actually speak with a few different witnesses from the rehab center, and here's what some of them had to say.
Saw her today, and she looked pretty out of it. I mean, she had her haircut, like Britney Spears kind of thing, went crazy because she used to have like long, big black hair, And Daniel told me that her mom was calling because they can't find her son. And her mom went to her house and saw blood. I don't know how dramatic it was, but saw blood. I don't know where, but just saw blood. Okay. And they can't find her son. And then she's over here, and Daniel, my brother, where's your son? He's with my mom. And her mom's calling over here saying he can't find her son. I mean, there's a bad connection there. I don't know if she's lying, crazy. I don't know. That's the situation from what I know.
How was her behavior?
Drastically different, because she was always bubbly and loud and had this big, great laugh, kind of really annoying laugh, and talking to everybody, and she was just kind of with her hands in her pockets and quiet. And
Luis, my dad, actually talked to her mom and told her mom that she needed to probably find her daughter like special help, like a psychiatrist or something like that, because her problem was beyond just drugs and alcohol now. It was like her mind was there sometimes and it wasn't. So we told her to come actually get her and find her like a special help, and that's the last time we heard from her.
Jeanette would be brought down to the police station for further questioning. And in the end, she would be booked into the Clark County Jail on a charge of making a false statement to a public servant after police had discovered where her car really had been left. Authorities were able to track Jeanette's cell phone data, and it showed that she had been near the Joint Base Lewis McChord military base. Video surveillance footage was then obtained from that area, and it showed the mother getting out of her car in a gray hoodie around 1:40 p.m. that day. She had retrieved a large object wrapped in a white blanket from her trunk, then walked into the woods with it. When Jeanette returned back to her car a little while later, her arms were empty. Immediately, police would go out to this area, and there they would find the body of 4-year-old Ariel Garcia. His body was found about 75 miles away from the apartment where he had been staying with his mother, close to halfway between the apartment and the rehab where Jeanette was later found. The little boy had died from multiple stab wounds in an attack that authorities said had gone on for a prolonged period of time. He had been stabbed a total of 41 different times. 16 of these stab wounds were in Ariel's chest alone, and he had other wounds on his back as well as defensive wounds to his arms. Ariel's mother, Jeanette, who was already being held in police custody, was then charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and assault of a child in the first degree. She was held on a $5 million bond. However, her lawyer tried to argue that Ariel's death was not premeditated, but rather a result of mental illness and a lack of meaningful addiction treatment. And since Jeanette had no prior criminal history, her lawyer asked that her bond be reduced down to just $500,000. The prosecution, on the other hand, believed that Jeanette had murdered Ariel to try to keep her own mother from gaining custody of him. The judge would end up agreeing with the prosecution, but he did still slightly lower her bond from $5 million to $3 million. Jeanette pleaded not guilty to her charges, and she is still sitting in jail awaiting her trial. 5-year-old Ariel Garcia's funeral would be held on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic Church in Bothell, Washington. Well, thank you for listening to Ariel's story today. This case is crazy, and I think it's pretty clear that Jeanette did indeed kill her son so that her mother could not get custody of him. But she clearly did not think through her story and what she was going to tell everyone else. Her story to police was just so scattered and crazy. And at times, she just suddenly and conveniently remembers information that she previously said she didn't know at all. The saddest part, though, is that Jeanette had to be so incredibly selfish. And if she couldn't have her son, nobody could. If you like true crime and you want to hear it from me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and turn on your notifications too so you'll know when I upload a new video, which is at least 3 times every single week. Thanks for watching A Wicked World today. Until next time, take care guys. Bye. Thank you to all the patrons of A Wicked World. Now, there's even more of A Wicked World on Patreon, so check it out on patreon.com/awickedworld. Or use the Patreon app. You'll have access to exclusive videos each month and more. Any support truly helps to make sure the victims are never forgotten and to highlight the shortcomings of society associated with each case. Do you have a suggestion for a story you'd like to see me cover? If so, send me an email to awickedworldtruecrime@gmail.com.